Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk about Battle Royale in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. What you're looking at right now is some early access Spec Ops gameplay that I got when I flew out to Santa Monica to play the game early courtesy of Activision, so thank you guys for that. But essentially, they showed us the entire game early, and I have to say, in everything that I dug through, there wasn't any Battle Royale mode in Modern Warfare, at least not at launch. When you boot up the main menu, you have campaign, multiplayer, and Spec Ops, but there's 4 sections of choices. It's sort of, the menu is cut into 4 parts, and the 4th part is completely inaccessible at the current time. It's not grayed out or blocked out or have like a little padlock lock on it, but you can tell they're saving this real estate for something else, some other mode that can be added in at a different time. There were a lot of developers on site, and I must have asked every single one of them a different type of tricky question about Battle Royale related stuff, like, you know, oh yeah, blah blah blah, by the way, I heard the Battle Royale mode was cool, and you just wait and listen and see what they say, and just all sorts of stuff. And all of the answers that they gave me indicated no Battle Royale is coming. No developer told me anything positive about Battle Royale coming to Modern Warfare. Not that they hated the mode, but just that they weren't building it. And I'm just going to assume that they were prepared for this. It's literally a room of 40 or 50 YouTubers, and they knew these guys were going to dig and ask questions, so that makes total sense to me. But for now, I want to redirect your attention away from my commentary and toward this absolutely massive Spec Ops map. This is one of the biggest playable maps that I have ever seen in any multiplayer game. I mean, there's games that have big maps, don't get me wrong. You've got classic stuff like Skyrim, or GTA, Red Dead Redemption, The Witcher. All of these have really, really big maps that, you know, if you're playing on PC, the draw distance goes forever, it renders dynamically, whatever. But they're all single-player games. Well, actually, GTA, you can do pretty big fights on multiplayer, but they're not quite the same as a twitchy shooter. PlanetSide 2 is a shooter, and it has utterly, redonkulously massive maps, but that one is a little bit special. That one's very unique, and it was designed for this from the ground up, and the graphics are different, and the guns are different, and PlanetSide's in its own special bubble. Battlefield can get pretty huge too, especially the more recent Battlefield 5, but I want to say that this map is actually bigger. This map is really enormous in Spec Ops, and I want to say that it's bigger than the Battlefield maps, but I haven't seen them side by side. And when I say bigger, I'm not talking about bigger just in total square footage, but also in terms of all the buildings seemingly being functional. I mean, it just seems like you can go into and out of most of the buildings in the game, that they're fully mapped out realistically, all the interior areas from, you know, like lobbies to bathrooms to everything. And there's a lot going on. And in this case, it's loaded full of AI that are posted up and trying to defend different places and do different things and snipe at you from the top of buildings and stuff. But it has a lot of functional indoor spaces, which is crazy. I mean, we have skyscrapers, we have apartments, good and bad apartments. There's a football stadium that you can, I know you can be outside the football stadium. I didn't get an opportunity to try to go inside of it, but I'm assuming that you can. There's an actual airport, a real-sized airport that you can drive around in and fight in, and you can board the planes in some of the later missions. If you pay attention, about 1/5 of this map is sectioned off into an already existing multiplayer map. So one of the last maps that was revealed to us is what I would call high-rise, but you can go down to the streets where there's 2 or 3 big skyscrapers that everybody snipes off of, and this just gigantic map where you can run around at street level and fight people down there. And I realized when I was playing Spec Ops that they actually took a tiny portion of this Spec Ops map and cordoned it off into what is one of the biggest multiplayer maps that I have ever seen in any game, much less Call of Duty. So we do know that a small section of this map is already playable with up to 48 people in regular multiplayer, and they just added boundaries to the sides to where you can't fly out or you'll die. So you can at least play ground war on a part of this, right? On top of all of this, this giant map has fully functional vehicles that you can pilot. We've got tanks, we've got ATVs, we've got helicopters, we've got kill streaks that you can drive around that easily could be just modded into a vehicle. There's lots of vehicular stuff going on. Hell, I mean, There's even AI stuff, like there's train tracks. I don't know if the trains move or not. There's a plane that you can get into that takes off in real time as far as I can tell. You can parachute in. There's another mission where you jump out of an AC-130 and you can parachute down to your landing place on the map, just like a Battle Royale game, but the big vehicles seem kind of AI controlled. The Spec Ops mode also includes several other things that are similar to a Battle Royale game. Most notably, and instantly recognizable to me, is that you can revive downed friendlies just like every BR game ever. And this one, it's sort of like picking up your buddies and zombies. You go down and you pull out your pistol and last stand, and that's been in COD, but it immediately made me think of Blackout and PUBG and those kind of games. There's a respawn mechanic. Currently, the respawn mechanic, I believe, is time or wave based, just like all, you know, COD Zombies is. If you kill a certain number of enemies or survive long enough, your buddy will respawn and come back to life. But this could easily be a respawn mechanic, just like Apex Legends and Fortnite brings people back to life, or maybe how Blackout does it as well. There's a class system in Spec Ops, so you can choose from a medic that can instantly bring up the whole team that's downed, a merc that has extra damage guns, another guy that can put down a barrier or give armor or drop ammo, and there's a lot of class-based stuff that you can do to boost and support your team, because you do run out of ammo and you do run out of health and you run out of armor and you run out of a lot of things pretty quickly in this mode. But it kind of reminds me of Apex a little bit, or Battlefield in a different sense, how you're constantly like using your abilities to help your teammates, and kind of you want to build this nice team comp so that you can beat all the AI and push through the mission. And finally, the looting aspect is pretty much already there. You have crates you can pick up of various intensities, you have kill streaks you can call in, you have weapons you can pick up off the ground or off the dead juggernauts. There's a lot going on, so with all of that, Battle Royale could easily be implemented on this map. All of the stuff for it is literally already there, and I think it's something that they're preparing for. I'm assuming that this is something that Infinity Ward wants to do at a later date, but they haven't launched it yet, or it's not going to come with the launch of the game. I'm assuming that they want to launch it sometime in the spring, in early winter, some sort of slow time in gaming where they can sort of dominate the gaming news for a little bit, kind of like how Apex came out with their big surprise launch, and just drop a huge Battle Royale, or free-to-play Battle Royale, or something to fill in that fourth slot. On a slightly different note, the tech seems to work, and it seems to work really well, and given that, I'm going to assume that there's a lot of crazy stuff that you could do with a map like this. You could have players spawn in tanks and just have massive vehicular tank battles on this map, and I would probably do it to where, like, once you're dead and you can't be a tank anymore, you have to be like a ground guy and throw grenades. That'd be really fun. It's big enough, and the tech seems to work well enough to where you could do aerial battles, you could fly jets and helicopters, you could have like an air assault mode. You could section off individual buildings in this map and just rebrand them as, I'll do the finger quotes, new multiplayer maps instantly. Like the airport in and of itself is a giant map. We're already playing a section of this map as a multiplayer map. I didn't even get an opportunity to explore a fraction of it, and there were a lot of like big fighting areas, and I'm assuming that you could just cordon off little sections of these and just constantly re-release them as multiplayer maps, because they seem to be designed like multiplayer maps. Imagine doing zombies or infected or something, kind of like an infected battle royale would be super fun here. We just have hordes and hordes of enemies coming at you. I think that'd be super fun. I know they said they're not going to do zombies because it's not realistic, but the map is perfect for it. You could do like a mega ground war with planet-side level numbers of people and fights if the engine and the lag and all that held up. You could load this map full of people, it would play fine. Personally, the idea that I like is you do like a special effect in the middle, and you kind of like, the middle of the map is fire. It's all lava, and it's snipers only, and people are stuck on the buildings, and they have to like snipe each other out of the buildings and windows, kind of like old No Crossing and Rainbow Six, what was it, Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. They had this like Arctic map that I would snipe in, and you had No Crossing on the bunkers. You could do so much fun stuff, and I suspect that Infinity Ward is not just going to let this map only be Spec Ops, and I bet they're going to do a lot of neat stuff with it. So guys, that is all for this video. It's as informative as I can possibly make it. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'm going to give you about a minute of raw gameplay here so we can boost over that 10-minute mark and YouTube won't punish this channel. Drifter out.
Job well done, Arm 4. I've got a transport vehicle marked for you. Strap in and egress to the safe house while we comb through the intel.
Warehouses, stash houses, caves. Al-Malik will have nowhere to hide this time.
One step at a time, Sergeant Kamarov. Let's stay focused.
Конечно.